Because I got to pick the matchup first.
What does the bomber have?
The bomber
Fleet,
has
courier.
fleet officer, courier.
Basically just fleet and Brunei.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dio Morales, host of the Gold Squadron podcast, and I am here with.
Hi, I'm Andrew Bunn.
Pick it up a little bit. Got a windscreen on it. You should be good. Yeah. So I'm here with Andrew Bunn. That is Andrew Bunn of the Tree of Bunn, the family of Bunn, the House of Bunn. So let's go ahead and start by breaking down these lists.
Yeah, on the left we've got Tom Zych,
I think.
Zych, that sounds good. He's running the Palp Aces list that's been fairly popular here. He's got the PS1 Scarif pilot with Palpatine. He's got Ryad with Lone Wolf, so she's really tanky. Oh, does he have hull upgrade on Ryad?
He does hull upgrade.
Huh, that's an interesting variation. So instead of taking the bid, he took the hull upgrade, but that Ryad's never going to die. Sorry, Duncan. I'll catch you later. We got a game to stream.
I got you for dinner. Watch my shit.
All right. Inquisitor, standard Inquisitor build. So, yeah, like the.
Squadron podcast is so good.
That's Duncan Howard, North American champion. He's too good for this tournament here. So, I like this list a lot. It's really defensive, and the whole upgrade's an interesting choice here. The bid doesn't matter too much in this matchup. So.
So looking at Alexander's list, he's bringing 2 Glaive Squadron defenders with Predator, Ion Cannon, and TIE D. We don't see TIE D too much in the competitive play. If you're not familiar with it, you're allowed to essentially shoot twice. You're going to shoot, I believe it's first primary and then cannon, or is it cannon and then primary?
I think it's the other way around, but
yeah, we'll
effectively the same thing.
We could just double check right here. After you perform a cannon, yes. So cannon and then primary. With Predator, the Predator choice here may come into effect with the fact that the Scarif-based pilot is pilot skill 1.
Yeah.
And
I actually ran into that a couple times. You never think about it because no one ever runs PS2 or lower generics.
Yep. And until the Reaper came out.
It's just that good.
And then he has a PS2 Scimitar Squadron pilot. That's a TIE bomber. Yes, a TIE bomber in the TIE 8 here at Nationals.
A cheap crew carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving those defenders a lot of mods. So they're going to have, like, potentially lock and focus. Well, I guess they don't need the lock, so I'm not, like, maybe they can reposition. It's kind of interesting. Or just double focus. So he's got super modded shots because you got that, like, Predator is super efficient on TIE D because you have the 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I could see him double stacking the focus for defense and offense, make him last longer. So it's a pretty cool list. I think, though, I mean, Tom clearly knows what he's doing. I watched some of his games before. I feel like I would be pretty comfortable with this matchup as a Palp base, as running this Palp base list. Because, like, I feel like Ryad could probably withstand that kind of damage. She'd probably want to prioritize dodging the ions, though. The ions could be pretty scary for her. So, like, Tom will probably be really cagey with how he engages. He's trying not to take too many shots. Because, yeah, you don't really want to eat both defender shots because that's 4 shots coming in, and then your tokens are going to go away fast.
Yep, and then some people are asking about the interaction between ailerons and ion. When you are ionized, you're not assigned a dial, and on adaptive ailerons, it tells you that you and adaptive ailerons. It's when after or before you reveal your dial. Since you don't have a dial, no ailerons.
Yeah, there's
off
no
of the
reveal,
ions.
just like bombs and stuff. So all that stuff's disabled.
So now that we got that interaction out of the way, let's go ahead and get our Twitch poll up here. Give me 1 second. We got Tom, and we'll go Alex just for short. Typing is hard.
So I approve of what Tom's doing here. I like to keep the Reaper out of the fight early. He can come in for some shots later, but like he's your most vulnerable piece, and like he provides a lot with Palpatine, even being out of the fight. So you want to be really careful with him. I assume he's going to look for a good angle of approach with Inquisitor to try to get some free shots in early. He might just keep kiting with Riot, but the really nice thing about Riot here, when you're in this lane here, is you dial a straight every turn, and you decide every turn whether, like, is this my turn to K-turn?
Right.
Or do I just want to keep running away? So I've used this approach before against, like, X-Wings and stuff, and it's pretty effective.
You got to know when the time is.
Right. But, I mean, like, you get to react after they move. Although, in this case, they are PS6, so that makes it a little harder for Riot. Maybe the bomber gives some indication of what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, especially that he's going to be wanting to at least stay within the bubble where he can reach for fleet officer each time. So it gives you a little bit of information there.
Exactly. And, I mean, these are tidy defenders, so they're a little less predictable than the X7s. Like, they're not always going to be doing 3-speed maneuvers.
And as we continue to get into this match, he's doing exactly what you were talking about here, Andrew. Let's go ahead and talk about how to support the Gold Squadron podcast, the people that support us and really make all this happen. Thank you to our sponsor for this weekend, Curl Paw Creatives. Use our exclusive coupon code NOVA2018 to get 15% off of all of your X-Wing and Legion. That includes second edition stuff. So don't snooze on it, as the coupon does end on Monday. There's the information there on the bottom of the screen. Thank you to our patrons and our Twitch Prime subscribers for all your help and donations and taking the time to make it happen. So why do you think Alex is barrel rolling to the left here? You think he's trying to slow?
I think he wants to give himself the opportunity to do like the 3-turn or something into the middle of the board, make sure he has a good lane between those rocks. I think that's what he's going for. I mean, they're both being really patient. I think the being patient kind of favors Tom.
Yeah.
Because he just wants, like, he can kill that bomber and, like, go to time at that point. Like, this PAL-based list is really good at killing some, like, you kill a little bit. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's really good at surviving. So
that's a strength, right? Why not lean on it? So Tom should be looking not to overextend himself.
Yeah, I'd be really concerned if Tom tries to, like, boost into the middle. Like, I wouldn't want to go into this lane. If I were him, I'd want to go straight with a boost here and try to go around outside. You're still, like, you definitely don't want an Inquisitor to get in front of, like, if you have auto thrusters, you're probably okay taking multiple tidy shots, but it'd be really scary to eat those 4 shots even with auto thrusters, because your tokens are going to get burnt. So I'd like to see a boost here, or you could just stay here and do a fast move next turn. I mean, you could probably get away with doing the 1 bank in next turn. And, like, if he does turn in with the hard turn with the TIDs, he could still bail out with Inquisitor. So maybe staying here is a good option. It gives him multiple options for next turn.
Fantastic. What do you think the plan for Riot is here?
I feel like you probably do the straight to set up the K-turn. He might just do the K-turn no matter what at this point, because now he's got, like, you want to have the multiple angles with the PAL bases, and now he's got the approach from this side here on the left with Riot, and then Inquisitor from the right. So I would expect a straight that's probably going to be a K-turn no matter what here. He could, like, depending on how conservative he is, he could even keep kiting away and do, like, a 3-bank and, like, just be like, I'm not even going to engage with Riot if I'm assuming you're coming after him. But, like, I'm betting on the 3 hard, or, yeah, from Alexander next turn. So I think the K-turn from Riot's decent.
Now, we had him on stream on day 1, I believe. And he was Tom.
Okay.
We had Tom on, and yeah, he was pretty conservative.
Yeah.
He reminded me a little bit of you.
Yeah, I
while
mean,
playing.
If he's gotten this far, he's definitely a conservative player. I saw him playing against Derek Tokaz, who had the, like, high PS X-Wings and a very scary Ghost.
Yeah.
And I played against that list as well, and it's tough, but he took care of it very well.
So the Reaper just making sure to stay alive.
Yeah, and I like this sort of formation. Like, you want Riot to be by yourself. Obviously, you don't want the Scarif to be too close. Scarif can kind of hang near Inquisitor if he's going to be near either of the ships, but he's probably just staying out of the fight. But you want to make sure you have that Lone Wolf up. So he's doing a good job setting up that approach here.
Some people are asking about the Bomber dial. Naturally, the Bomber has 1, 2, and 3 straights that are green and the 2 banks that are green, but he has that twin Ion Mark II engine equipped, making the 1 and 3 banks also green. So has lots of options to de-stress to make sure that he can always do that fleet officer whenever he needs to.
I'm a little surprised the Bomber is going straight here. I guess there's a lot of options still. He might not want to commit to a direction yet and stay along the edge. But I feel like the longer he waits to engage, that probably favors Tom, unless he just gets a perfect engagement where he's getting all those shots. Like, I mean, if Riot eats an ion, like, she's in a lot of trouble. So,
Oh, yeah.
like, there's always a threat to Tom.
I forgot to start the timer. Can you lean your head over and see, do they have the timer up there?
$1 hour, 5 minutes.
1 hour 5? Okay, I'll get that fixed. There we go. Pretty close.
So is that the 3-bank from Riot or just 1-bank or something? 3-bank barrel?
Those are 3-bank.
Okay. Yeah, so he's committed to just kiting away. He's not going to risk engaging Riot into the full strength. Okay, the 1-bank is a pretty neutral move there. Gives him the option to either go through the rock still or commit down. Like if Riot did do the K-turn, he would have the option to keep going around the outside of the rocks.
So it seems like both these players are trying to keep open those 50-50.
Right. I mean, it's really important against like a Palp base. Like you can't just let Inquisitor get on the side of you and take those free shots.
Now this is interesting. Alexander bumps here in opening maneuvers, and I have seen this mess up players in the end game. You know, if especially they plan on engaging a certain way. So now the red defender is going to be slightly out in front.
And it'll be easier for like Tom really wants to engage where like Riot's fine kind of taking shots from one defender as long as she has lone wolf up, because with Palp and two tokens you can probably, like, even if he gets 3 hits on both, you're going to prioritize avoiding the ion cannon, but you're unlikely to take damage even from the primary after that. And he's separating even further here, so I'm kind of concerned about that, because I do think that, like, in the future that is probably going to present some issues, although he can get the other glaive back into formation. And Tom, being a really conservative player, I approve of this, going around to the outside here. So, and, like, where that defender is, this red defender from Alex, I think it's going to be really hard for him to, like, turn on to Inquisitor anytime soon. I mean, it's possible the 3 hard fits there, but I don't think he's going to do that.
And Tom not tipping his hand by not choosing a boost in a direction yet.
I assume he's going to boost to the right. I think now is a good time to do that, but yeah, he doesn't have to. Like, the 1 hard next turn is good no matter what. But I think if he does the boost, that'll set him up to probably get shots on that red defender next turn with some repositions.
I'm going to go ahead and get a marker for Ryad, as we have 2 red defenders with the same color base here. So we'll just give Ryad a number 1.
It'll be easy to tell because one will have an evade token and one won't. But
that's true. That's true.
But yeah, this is a good idea. Do you normally predict who's going to win, Dion? Or?
I usually don't. I mean, I'll take a look at the poll.
You try to remain unbiased?
I try to remain as unbiased as possible.
How did the poll results go, or is it still going on?
It's still going on right now. We'll probably take it off in one more turn. Looks like 62% going Alex right now.
Yeah, I probably. Oh, so favorite for Alex. Wow. That's really interesting. I'm definitely in Tom's camp. I like what he's doing so far. Although he barreled away, he's being really, really cautious there.
Yep.
I feel like I probably wouldn't have done the barrel out, but I think it's fine. Like, it's not really going to cost him anything. It's all going to come down to, like, if Tom ever does get caught by those 4 shots from the 2 defenders, like, that's if that ever happens, he could definitely lose the game on that.
Yep.
But these defenders do die faster, these tiny ones. So.
Yeah, not having that evade really presents itself, because they're going to be spending the focus on attack, like, every time.
Yeah, I mean, they'll spend probably 1 on attack. There might be cases where 1 gets low. He'll say both focuses for defense, maybe. But
yeah, just looking at the initial just squads and looking at the opening here, I think it's going to come down to whether or not Alex leaves this defender out to dry.
Yeah.
Right? Or, by the same merit, if this blue one is not in the, it takes too long to get re-engaged into the fight.
I think, yeah, Alex seems kind of committed to this middle lane between the rocks here. That's what I'm expecting. I assume the Bomber's doing a hard turn to try to get into position for that as well. I'm guessing with the Inquisitor, I'd probably do a hard one, but he might do the bank too. If I were the Scarif pilot, I'd be going to the corner. I don't think he should turn in at all.
There's the one straight ailerons. And the 3 straight. Just staying conservative, staying as far away from the other list as possible. That's the plan right now.
Like, he can come into fight later, but you want your aces to chip in some damage first. And, like, you want ideally Alex will engage or get committed to another target. I'm curious to see what Raya does here, because she could do the 3 hard in. That'd be kind of aggressive, though. I probably don't expect him to do that.
I'm expecting a 3 bank.
Just
kind of stay behind the Reaper.
Yeah. Good call, Dion. He might even barrel out here, because he doesn't have that 3 hard in. He might want to enable that. Like barrel forward to the left.
He has it in his hand. It's so interesting how something like the first edition barrel roll can really change all your options the following turn. It's crazy.
That's one of the things I'm going to miss the most, because I get that it's really strong.
Yeah.
Probably too strong in some cases, but I always thought it's really cool when like watching Nathan Idy play with Corrin, like you're setting up that barrel boost to get, because you want to get the arc dodge just right, but also have arc, so you have like all these constraints you're working in, and you have to get it exactly in the right spot. So I always like that granularity you have, and I'm going to miss that in 2nd edition.
All right, so he did barrel roll out, and it looks like we're going to get another collision here. Maybe Alex is playing us. It's all on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, he might not want to go through the rocks, because he feels like he's committed like to the sort of, like it really limits his lanes and makes it easier for like the Inquisitor to get a flank. So you might just want to go around the outside. But yeah, if like depending on what the red defender does, he could be exposing himself to getting like free shots on him. Okay, so he's going back into this corner. He's going to try to reset, it looks like. Maybe do some K-turns down here.
It's going to, now that he has these weird angles, what he won't be able to do is engage with them at the same angle, which is what a lot of defender players like to do. Kind of keep them straight.
It's a tough balance, because you like, especially against like Inquisitor moving after you, you want to have like wider like options, like different arcs possibly, but you also want to get both shots on the same target.
Yeah.
So a hard turn from Inquisitor. No surprise there.
And for those of you who do follow final salvo counts from the beginning, they are even.
Yeah, I was like thinking about that earlier too.
Both have 8
so no
dice
one's
available.
feeling too pressured, although I assume neither of them wants to go to final salvo. But
right.
Maybe one of them is more happy with it than the other person, depending on how they think their chances are in the game. Or maybe they just know their dice are really good.
Yeah. I'm confident in my dice.
So yeah, I like that move from Tom. Now that the defenders are resetting, you don't really want to commit too hard with the Inquisitor. So we're getting a really cagey opening here. I enjoy this kind of game personally, but I know other people like to see action and dice rolling and stuff. But like getting the right approach is a big part of X-Wing.
Absolutely. This is my favorite stuff. Even in playing, I like this. But I think this game's going to come down to whoever makes the first mistake, because it's going to happen later in the game. It's going to happen probably around the 40-ish minute mark, and that's when the snowball starts. Whoever overextends themselves first.
It's easy to make mistakes with both of these lists, I feel like. I mean, there's a lot of things to fall back on with Palp and all these defensive things, but I don't know. I made my fair share of mistakes this weekend, which is why I'm here. But
it happened.
I think the TIE defender or the TIE D defenders aren't easy to play either.
Nope. Because you don't have that defensiveness. Now you have to like you already have to think defensively with the X7 one, because that's what you brought him for, to not take damage, right?
Yep.
But you can't just like, well, I have an evade token, I guess I'll just, take all the shots.
Yeah.
And now he has to think even more about that.
So I'm expecting I kind of expect like a sloop or some like stall or something from this. Maybe he's fine going around here, but I would kind of want to hang out in that corner. Maybe get my option to turn around the other way. But I mean, he has a lot of ways to go around with the Reaper. Like he can go back into the rocks if he wants to. Those things are extremely maneuverable.
So they move so much. All right, we're gonna close a Twitch poll in about one more round. So go ahead, get your votes in, and Twitch.
Oh wow, okay.
5K.
So he's just going around the rocks. It looks like. Doesn't look like. Oh no, the 5K. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I expected with the resetting the corner there. That makes sense. I wonder if Riot's doing a 3 bank in or something, or he could be doing a K-turn as well. K-turn kind of makes sense, so you make sure he's still approaching from another angle. Oh, he's going straight. Okay.
Staying straight. You might see the barrel roll back to give him the option to turn in a little easier.
And, I mean, he might be having Riot come around sort of clockwise to the right here, and then Inquisitor goes back down into the top left corner and approaches from the other side. Or, because he basically wants them to be approaching at different angles.
You want to go ahead and draw it?
I don't feel confident in my drawing abilities.
Okay, so
I'll leave that to you.
So you said?
Yeah, I expect Riot to be coming around, sort of maybe around the rocks and approach from that side. And then Inquisitor, he's probably going to come back out into the top left corner to approach, but we'll see. He might be able to go through the middle too, depending on, like, give him the option to either turn out or go through the middle if the defenders don't turn in.
So red defender does K-turn. And that farther 5K on the bomber gives Alex an opportunity to kind of get his ships straight again. And you're going to have the defenders in front doing their thing.
Yeah, because I assume he just wants the bomber back there. Like passing out focuses. He's not out there to do damage. Maybe that 2-dice shot will do something after everything else is fired.
Okay, so Tom preferring to go down to the bottom of the board instead of going through the rocks here.
Okay. He can still barrel away, give himself options to get back into the rocks if he has to. I'd be really scared of going out into that open space there if the defenders commit that way.
There's the barrel roll. And the one hard next turn is a pretty likely move, right?
Yeah, it gives you options to go back into the rocks or go around the outside. The thing is, I assume Alex is also not going to commit to anything with his next turn either.
It's a game of chicken, man.
Yep.
Who's gonna break first?
The tough part for Tom is like Riot. He's going to take a while to get anywhere useful. So I think Tom's going to have to like take a long time to engage here still. He hasn't quite gotten what he wanted to get yet, so he's going to keep being patient. Do you want to talk about defenders in second edition?
Sure. So yeah, we have somebody here talking about, and you get the X7 ability, and you can take ion cannon. You can't attack twice,
right?
Which it definitely is going to help.
That would be pretty good if you had TID and X7.
They can have it. You're only allowed to have one in a list, though.
Oh, yeah.
That is your
it's
list.
200 points.
Yes.
Yeah. It seems reasonable. Like Luke Gunner Dash.
Yep.
Yeah, defenders seem really strong in second edition, especially with like advanced lasers on there. But they do get really pricey really quickly.
And then if you hang one out to dry, you lost the game because you're going to have a 2-ship list if you're trying to do double defenders.
Yeah, I mean you can fit 2 cheap things in with it, maybe, or you can do 2 Delta Centaur. Seems pretty good.
One thing I did talk to Alex Davey today about something that was going around on Facebook this last week. Did you see that whole debacle? Not debacle, but just like argument over composure. And can you fail the target lock on purpose?
I mean, I have heard about a lot of the exploits of composure, like previously. I didn't see anything this week, but the last month or so, I think people have been talking about that, with especially like on interceptors where you could fail an action and then get the free focus for your second action.
So I looked at I asked him about the target lock part. Can you fail a target lock on purpose?
Yeah.
And he said no.
Yeah, I heard that this week as well. So that's pretty. It makes it much harder to exploit composure. I think only interceptors can really fail it with failing. Like if you fly them next to each other, you can fail a barrel like into yourself. So you could exploit it that way. I don't know if it's too powerful. It's probably pretty strong in that sense.
Yeah.
I would imagine they do something to disallow that for composure because I don't think that was the intent. But I could see them leaving it into the game because it seems interesting.
When I talked to him about it, they said when we designed it, it was a card for beginners, similar to Luke Gunner, where it's just like, oh, I messed up. Well, at least you get a focus. They're like, yeah, people are just they found something, so expect the price to go up. Number one on composure. Definitely going to be on the rise there.
That seems like a reasonable thing to do as well.
And it's expected to be one of the first things errated.
Okay.
To kind of close up some of the loopholes that people are trying to use with the target lock portion, at least.
Yep. Yeah, that's sort of what I expected. So I wonder if Alex is doing this on purpose to try to realign his defenders.
Maybe. At least a little more. We should have banked. Maybe barrel roll out next turn, and then you bank to the right, and you'd get a little more tilt to straighten them out.
But I think Alex is fine with this. He wants to kind of slow roll here still. He wants, because now he still has the option to turn in, although it gets kind of iffy with the 3-turn from the gray defender. Yep, the one hard, like you said, from Inquisitor. I definitely like that. I wouldn't have, like, if he came out fast into this open space, he's just asking to get destroyed by those defenders. I am really concerned about the Reaper here. I feel like the Reaper actually is deceptively agile in how quickly it can turn around, even without the sloops. You can do the one bank, one hard.
Bank, one barred.
And, like, he could just choose to go back into that corner if he wants to. So I'm curious to see what he does next turn with the Reaper. Because if he brings it out into the corner, I feel like, I guess he's committing to sort of come in here, but I don't know if I like the approach too much from Tom, but it could be just fine. Like, worst case scenario, if the defenders go after your Reaper, like, you're getting probably a lot of damage in from your other two pieces, and, like, you prefer your Scarif to die as opposed to either of your other pieces.
Yeah.
Because you can clean up pretty well if you trade, like, the Scarif for a defender, I think.
Yeah, but that is the trade you want. You want a Scarif for a defender, not your Scarif for the bomber.
Right. That would be not so good. But yeah, if I were Tom, I would turn the Scarif around and not commit to that. But he might be feeling like it's time to engage, in which case he's trying to get all three of his pieces, maybe trying to get shots on the first turn. So he might bring it in.
He's got to be careful, though. If he comes in, right, you got ailerons one forward, even just as a one bank, right?
What I would do if he is going to engage, I would one bank out and one hard back in. So he's, like, barely, like, on the edge there, like, keeping distance. And, like, maybe what you can do with that is they're also really fast, so you might be able to, like, go in with a 3-bank or something to go for a block or something clever like that. Like, that'd be really cool to see.
Because these defenders, if they're going to try to catch the Scarif now, they're going to hit the gas, right? They're going to go 5 forward. I'm pretty sure this is clear from the blue.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a mistake from Alex unless, I mean, it's always like a mind game, right? Like,
right.
And there's a lot of, like, especially when two good players are playing, like, you're trying to outguess, like, does he know I'm going to do this? Like, this is my best move. Am I going to do something else now? So I really have no idea what Alex is going to do. Like, if he's going to, I would assume he's going to go slower rather than fast. I don't think he wants to gun after that Scarif this turn, but he might think it's his opportunity. So.
All right, here's the ailerons forward.
So it's probably going to be like the one hard or one bank, like you said.
That's a red move, which means it's probably the
sloop.
Sloop, yeah.
Okay, so that's more along the lines of going back in the corner there, which I approve of.
Turn it around.
Then the only concern is if they do the 5 straight, he might get caught with an iron here, and that's basically a dead Scarif. So we'll see if
Fleet Officer.
I mean, it's possible it's out of range, but I'm pretty sure the 5 forward. It is pretty close.
1, 2.
You'd have the barrel
3,
forward as well. If you
4, 5 plus the base.
I mean, if your markers are right, then that looks like it's in range. I feel like that's a little farther than it goes. But you're probably right. I think it barely would clip him in range. And that you don't get the range bonuses for the ion cannon. And if he just takes 1 ion here, that with the stress, like he's just hosed. So, oh, there it is.
There's the gas.
So if he catches him, that could be very significant for Tom. And that'll put a lot of pressure on Alex to engage with his aces.
Yep. Especially if you saw Ryad. Ryad turned away here, so she's going to take a couple turns to get back in. I
like what Ryad did from like Alex's or Tom's general strategy, but I think he like miscalculated a little bit with his Scarif here. I think his safer option if he wanted to turn around was the bank hard turn, like I was saying, but he probably thought he was going to be safe.
So deciding to barrel roll back, not quite. I mean, he like went back a little and then all the way forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might still be range 3, but I mean, it doesn't matter too much for the ion. And the ion's all that matters here, really. It's going to be hard for this other defender to get any closer, but he still might be in range.
It's going to be close.
He'll probably like check for a lock, I assume. Although the lock doesn't matter, but.
Got it.
So I wonder if Inquisitor did a move that can punish. I wouldn't be surprised if he did a straight, but he might have done like the 1 bank. Because it'd be nice at least for Tom to get some shots here from the Inquisitor. Is that the hard turn away?
It is. This is going to be bad for the...
So I see what Tom was doing, and it was a good strategy to try to reset again.
Yeah, he overextended the Reaper. That's what happened.
So he got caught there. So it's a rough start for Tom. It's still recoverable unless... So 2 from the ion
cannon first.
And they both have shots, so I think it's impossible to knock an ion, no matter how you palp. Because you're rolling 1 and 1 with palp, so you have to get an evade on 1. Well, this is 3, so he can't dodge it.
Yep.
Ouch.
So that's going to be 1 damage and an ion?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's this turn, things swung significantly in Alex's favor. And you called it, Dion, the 5 straight. That was the key.
That's the palp token.
This is the primary, so he's just trying to mitigate some damage.
Yep.
He knows he's iron at this point, so he doesn't really care about the other. Oh, I guess it does 1 damage, but it's not too bad.
So here's Predator.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big reason. Well, Alex has been really successful. I think it's like deceptive how dangerous the iron TIDs are.
Yep. So that's going to be another damage there.
The extra focus makes them tankier than they normally are with TID.
And Predator doing the work against Reapers.
Oh, yeah. But two rerolls coming into play. He doesn't need that target lock. He only took that to check if he had range.
Yep. It's free.
Yeah. So was that only 2 shields?
No, only ended up 2 shields. The primary attack only had 1 at the end there, and he was able to dodge it.
Wow. I mean, that's a bit of a break for Alex.
It is. Get out.
It's just really unfortunate that he's stressed, too.
Yeah, he can't get too far because no ailerons on this move.
And it's a white 1 straight in 1st edition, so he's never getting an action again, probably. Those defenders, do you think they're doing like a 1 bank from red?
Yeah, that's all you can, because
you could do the 2.
But you don't want to go too fast with the trajectory.
Because they're generally faster, so yeah, you don't want to catch up too quickly.
It's going to end up here-ish. All right, so you just keep it nice and casual, 1 bank, and you can then take 1 more turn to 1 bank with the 2 defenders, and then you flip it around.
I mean, I could see the Scarif dying in this next turn, honestly.
Yeah.
The 3 bank from the bomber to catch up, maybe, because he's got the twin mark iron. It's really unfortunate that he caught Tom at the perfect time when he was trying to disengage, so the aces aren't able to punish here. Because if he had the shots from Riot Inquisitor, it's like, you're losing the Reaper, but you're getting something out of it. But
and props to Alexander for seeing the fact that Tom had overextended himself. Like that's sometimes when it takes player awareness to just look and you realize, wait a minute.
Well, and he probably saw that like it's maybe possible that the Reaper is able to do the other turnaround, but like the chance, like there's a pretty good chance that he catches him if he doesn't do that, and like he could only be punished so much if he was wrong.
Yeah.
So we thought the risk was worth it.
So it looks like Tom has decided that the Reaper's gone.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing he can really do about it because these guys can't even get back into the fight very quickly. Like the Inquisitor, I don't think he can afford to 4K. So I assume he's got to go around the rock.
Okay.
2 straight.
2 straight.
What do you think he's thinking about with that?
I mean,
oh, does he still have arc?
He still has. He still has arc. Yeah.
Okay. I just 2 straight now and maybe hard turn later.
Yep.
I guess he knew he had arc.
Yeah. Inquisitor going the long way around.
Yep.
Reaching.
I assume he boosts. Yeah, he's got to like try to get in there before the Reaper dies. It's going to be really bad for Tom though if the Reaper dies like this turn. Which like you're taking potentially 1 damage from each ion cannon and then 2 to 3 damage from each primary. So I think it's fairly likely he dies.
Yep. It is important to note that on that bomber that all the banks are green.
So we're definitely going to see a 1 hard from Inquisitor next turn to try to get shots. And I think that'll be fairly safe. So that's the good news for Tom.
Only 1 hit on the ion cannon for the first one. There's a chance here. There it is. If you're Tom, this next ion, so you take the damage here. You don't worry about palping here. Hit it, crit.
Ooh, that's a range 1.
Yep. You save Palpatine for the second ion.
Oh, because he dodged the first.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that would be huge.
But he did drop the Palpatine there. Takes hit, crit, major hull breach.
I don't think it's going to be too relevant here because he's going to be at very little hull if he survives around. But yeah, even if he dodges the ion somehow, like best case you're doing like a 3 straight or 2 bank to get out. I don't know if that's good
Predator,
enough.
3 hits. All right, so at least he mitigated some damage with Palpatine, as there was nothing he could have done on that.
And this is the last primary for 3, and he has
3.
2 health left.
He has 3 left. He grabbed 1 too many. Did he? 1, 2.
Well, I think he took a damage for the ion cannon just now. Huh? Major Hull's next turn, so the cards aren't face up yet.
Yep.
And
so he's gone.
Okay. I mean, I'm not too surprised. I feel like that was sort of the expected result that turn.
Yep.
Rough start for Tom. I don't think he's out of it. The good news is it's even easier to keep Lone Wolf up when you have 1 less ship on the table.
Andrew Bunn talking about silver linings, baby.
I mean, you'd be surprised. Like, you get into these end games with this kind of list, and that Lone Wolf Riot is just a beast.
Yep.
I mean, it's tough not to have Palp, but I mean, it could happen. He ends up jousting with Riot against those 2 TIDs and dodges every shot with Lone Wolf and those tokens.
All right, so now it's the Inquisitor and Ryad versus Alexander's entire list that hasn't taken any damage whatsoever. I think that's probably the thing that's going to bite Tom in the end, is the fact that, they traded Palpatine for nothing.
Right, and the other bad news is the bomber is worth much less than the Scarif, so he doesn't have that as a win condition. He pretty much just has to ignore the bomber.
Yep.
He's got to get a defender off the table. He's only got 36 minutes left, so you can't waste time going after the bomber. As free of a kill as it might be. I mean, I feel like you have to 1 harden with the quiz right now. Like, I don't think the hard turns are that scary. I guess I think you can arc dodge no matter what if you have to with quiz, and you probably get a shot. So I assume he's doing that. What do you think Raz is doing? Maybe a 3?
3 bank. I mean,
I think he could maybe 3 hard and barrel. It might be a faster route in. I'm not sure, though. I think at this point he just wants to get engaged.
He just placed the dial on the wrong one.
He's probably feeling some time pressure. Like, I had a hard time when I'd get behind, like, initially. Like,
it's a what?
I mean, he's probably just maybe committing to go around the rocks all the way. He's
No,
like
he was upset. I think he
did the wrong maneuver?
he did the wrong maneuver. I think he was going to do a 3 straight with.
Like, you think they mixed up the dials?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah, he did.
Oh, no.
But he had a sign. Oh, man.
Oh, so he mixed up the dials.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I feel like if he knew, like, he should have been allowed to do that. I don't know.
Well, I think the question was, oh, that's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, that. I mean, I think
That sucks. I've done the same thing, man.
I feel like normally as long as like the maneuvers are valid for both, I feel like
rule.
As long as it's clear which one's which, I thought it's fine. Or
I think it was clear as they were separated. I think the problem was that he wasn't. There was a moment where he didn't know, so he risked
and
switching
especially
it.
Yeah, like the bomber had already moved, so there's some information, but that's really painful. I mean, there's a lot of pressure in these games, and like little mistakes like that happen. Like, obviously, he knew that like that 3 hard wasn't the right move for the Inquisitor. That wasn't the mistake he made.
Right. The moves were great. I actually really liked that. He was kind of regrouping here with Grove to make a pass.
He wasn't rushing. I still probably would have liked the 1 hard from the Inquisitor just to get shots in. Because, like, at range 3 with, I mean, best case with a target lock focus, like, you're chipping in damage consistently. And, like, you need to start. Like, they have a lot of health, 6 health. Like, that's going to take you a fair amount of turns to chew through, and you've only got 30 minutes left. So I'd be feeling some pressure to start shooting. It's just you are scared of Inquisitor getting punished if he starts engaging. And
the Inquisitor's still stressed as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's super painful there. He's going to have to, like, almost all of his 1s are on that rock still.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he could
He'll
1
have
hard
to go straight.
Yeah, I assume he's going to do a fast straight, but then, like, your risk of getting blocks very high. I assume the red defender is almost definitely doing a K-turn here. If I were the gray defender, you could just do a 1 bank if you want to get shots, although you could also be aggressive and go for the block. Like, it's going to be, because, yeah, the Inquisitor is going to have no reposition, so the block's actually useless. So you just 1 bank the gray defender, 4K the red defender, and you're going to ionize the quiz, and he's done, I think.
Here's the bomber. He'll have a shot into the Inquisitor at range, what looks to be range 3, just barely. So we'll see here if the auto thrusters can maybe do some work for Tom.
I don't even think he's going to have auto thrusters. Maybe from the red defender. Because, I don't know, the quiz is probably doing the 4, maybe the 3.
Right. As forward as fast as you can go straight, right?
Yeah, that's a green. And I mean, I guess he's not going to have actions anyways.
Can you have a 5? Is there a 5 on the dial?
There is a 5. So
I might do the 5
if I were
just to get
Tom,
in his
you
face.
could just do a white because you're not going to have actions. You'll clear their stress the turn after. Okay, so 1 hard instead of the 4K. I guess that's fine because you already have the focus.
Yep.
And he has Predator, so yeah, there's really no downside to having the stress. And the 1 bank here, I assume.
And if he goes fast here, he can at least take away 1 shot.
Like a 5 straight bump?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would actually be huge. He might avoid all the shots if he's able to bump into the gray defender. Okay, so he did do a white move. But unfortunately, best case scenario, he arc dodged red.
I don't think so.
I don't think he arc dodged anything. All right, so that's some good news.
There you go. He could live. He's got 3 dice. You know, it's all in luck now, really, right?
Yep.
Where it comes down to. And you know what? You can't. Fatigue is a thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Here, Inquisitor, range 1, maybe a blinded pilot into this bomber could help. 2 evades.
They both rolled very well there, so it ends up being about the right amount of damage there.
Direct hit.
It doesn't hurt. I mean, getting the bomber off the table definitely helps. And Riot will be able to help take it out soon. It's just He's running out of time to kill those defenders. And he's going to need a miracle for Inquisitor to get out of here without at least an Ion. This is the first Ion.
3. Looking for natties.
Oh, that would have been the reason to do the green, though. Because at least he could have repositioned the next turn if he somehow lives here. I think he was just hoping to arc dodge the shots. But I think the 5 straight might have been perfect. It might have been miraculous that he bumps the Great Defender out of arc to both the other ships.
Yep. 4 hits.
3 health left on the Inquisitor. Needs 2 natural evades here. He gets 1. That's
going
to
be it. He's going to call it there.
Yeah.
That's the right move. No need to play all the way to the end. He's frustrated.
Yeah, that dial switch is very costly. I mean, I liked how Tom was approaching it the whole time. He got caught with the Scarif out a little far.
Yep. Come on in, Bun.
Hey.
Well, this is Andrew Bunn.
It's
So,
me.
want to say thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll be back. We had about 30 minutes still left on the clock. Plus, there's less time in between, so I'm going to go ahead and put a 30-minute, that's when the next round's coming. want to say thank you to Curl Paw Creatives for supporting the Gold Squadron podcast and being our sponsor. Special offer for all of you guys. Nova 2018. Use that as a coupon code to get 15% off of all X-Wing and Legion. Also, connect your Amazon Prime to Twitch to become a Twitch Prime subscriber. It's literally, Andrew, it's free money.
Free money.
People say, money doesn't grow on trees. This is the only thing I have found where you are already paying for something. It's hey, would you like some free money? Here you go. You just press the button. It's pretty
free and everything. Twitch Prime is amazing.
Yeah, so do it, please, so that we can continue our content. And, of course, thanks to our patrons. Largest group of supporters get swag while supporting Gold Squadron podcast. Go to patreon.com/Gold Squadron. We'll be back.